Hi, today we're going to be looking at doing our word collage with our class. And so we're going to take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, index paper is the best, and you guys are going to start in pencil and then go over it with marker if you would like to, but I'm going to start in marker so that you can see everything I'm doing today. We would have picked a class word by now, so I'm just going to pretend that the class word we picked for my class that we're doing is peace. And you guys can do bubble letters, you could do straight letters, you can do a mix of letters, you can do capital letters, you can do lowercase letters. This is your expression of the word, so you're allowed to do whatever you might like. So I can come down and I could even do things like this inside of circles. It's really only limited to your imagination when you're working on this project. You just want it to represent your word, P-E-A, and then I could do a big C, like this, and then it would have another E at the end. I did an uppercase here, maybe I'll do a lowercase e over here, and I'll do it in cursive, like that, and then just in case if people aren't sure what a cursive E looks like, I could even trace that line with a regular E to give them the idea of what's going on. It's kind of a fun project when you get to make up your own stuff. Like that. P-E-A-C-E spells peace. I have some big leftover areas, so maybe I'm going to throw a couple of peace symbols in those leftover areas. This one's the traditional peace symbol that you see a lot of times. All right. And then sometimes you might see something like this, where people have their fingers over for the peace sign. Maybe this person is wearing a nice little shirt. Text back down in there, so it could almost be like the letter C has the little peace symbol going on there. What else? Peace usually involves people being happy and loving one another, so maybe we'll draw a couple of hearts on there to fill in the space as well. Let's see, some people like daisies to represent peace. Go through like this. Daisies have thinner petals, polka dots in the middle. Okay, and then if your letters are too plain and boring, you can always go through and add patterns to them or designs to sort of dress them up a little bit. Got this one, I'll go through and add some outside edges. If you get stuck, look around your room that you're working in. See if there's some things to spur on your imagination. Maybe this one. I'm going to make it look like it was put together like metal nuts and bolts. It's kind of fun. There we go, and it might be a little shiny. Kind of like that. And then this E, don't want it to get lost. It's looking a little skinny. I think I'll make it a little thicker by doing that. Now it's pretty full, so I think I'm ready for some color. Your teacher will have lots of different medias for you to choose from in your classroom. I'm going to be looking at using some construction paper crayons on mine, some markers, and these look like colored pencils, but these are actually watercolor pencils. I'm going to show you how those work today. They're a fun medium to work in. So I'm going to work on coloring this first before I add the water for my watercolor pencils. All right, now that I have my colors down, I'm going to show you how to do the watercolor ones. So you just get water on your brush, and you want to make sure there's nothing else in your brush. Dry it off a little bit on the side of your bucket, and then any place you have watercolor pencil, you're going to do this little scrubby motion with the edge of your brush. And you can see it turns it into watercolor paint. And if you want to smooth it out, you can go back after you scrubby it a little bit and smooth it out. Any place that you did this, you can always get a little bit more water. If your brush starts drying off, it'll make that scratchy noise, right? You can go back and you can turn it into paint. It's just really fun. You can even go right on top of the crayon, like get the crayon right next to it. It won't work on top of the Crayola markers, it'll just get those wet, but it works right on top of the crayon, like that resist method we've talked about. There we go. Now I'm going to put this on the drying rack. You'll notice where those colors blended over here. I was careful to wash my brush in between the lighter colors, and they start mixing together to make some really beautiful colors with those watercolor pencils. Thanks for joining me today, guys.